What if a city can be designed like a microchip, precise, intelligent, and built to run on code? A place where transport runs on time, power grids manages themselves, data flows like air, and technology is not a hurdle. It's the backbone of the daily life. At first, it feels like science fiction, the kind of futuristic city you can only see in movies or imagine in books. But here is the twist. This isn't fiction, it's real. This is Konza Technopolis, Kenya's bold $14 billion moonshot, a smart city built from scratch to be Africa's answer to Silicon Valley. It's not just a cluster of buildings, it's an ecosystem designed for research, for startups, for innovation, and for the kind of ideas that could redefine Africa's role in the global tech race. They call it Silicon Savannah, a city meant to turn plans into policy, blueprints into billion-dollar companies, and ambition into living, breathing economy. And today, I'll take you inside the origins, show you what makes it different from any city you've seen before, and answer the big question: can Konza truly rise beyond the hype and become a global tech hub for the future? Welcome. This is a mobile terror. How do you turn an empty savannah into a $14 billion smart city? And how far has Kenya come? Well, the story of Konza didn't start with buildings or roads. It started with a dream. Back in 2008, Kenya launched Vision 2030, a bold plan to transform the country into a modern, knowledge-driven economy. Part of the vision was creating a brand new smart city, a place designed from ground up to be the engine of innovation. By early 2010s, the plan began moving from paper to reality. Roads were cut through the savannah, power and water lines were extended. The government set up the first apps and lands reserved for universities, research centers, private investors. What looked like an empty land was slowly being prepared for something much bigger. Progress hasn't been flashy, and it hasn't been instant, but it has been steady. The backbone of the city is quietly being built. Underground fiber cables are being laid to connect every block. Data centers are starting to come online and host cloud services. New policies and legal frameworks are being written to support investors, researchers, and entrepreneurs. And slowly, the first wave of startups, labs, and partnership is beginning to take root. Right now, Konza may not look like a futuristic city skyline. To most people, it still looks like work in progress. But the truth is, cities like this are built inside out. What matters most in early years is not the glass towers or the neon lights. It's the invisible backbone, the networks, the utilities, the systems, because without those, no smart city can survive. Konza is at its early stages today, laying the foundations that are strong enough to carry the weight of tomorrow. What makes Konza different from every other tech hub Africa's tried to build? What makes Konza stand out both in Africa and globally comes down to three bold moves. First, design fast from day one. Most cities try to add technology on top of old systems. It's like patching an old phone with new applications. Konza is different. It's engineered from a blueprint with AI, IoT, and renewable energy built in. That gives it a structural advantage right from the start. Second, a city-scale ambition. This is not another small tech cluster like you're buying Legos or a single campus in Cape Town. Konza covers thousands of acres, enough to boast entire industries, global universities, neighborhoods, and research hubs, all in one place. At this scale, innovation doesn't just grow, it multiplies. And third, Kenya's digital DNA. This is a country that changed the world with mobile money. The culture of fast adoption, fintech breakthroughs, and digital problem solving gives Konza a unique edge. It's not just about tech on paper, it's about tech that people actually use. Globally, Konza's best. Nigeria, South Africa, and Egypt, they have bigger markets and deeper talent pools. But Konza offers something rare. A city designed from scratch to be tech native, competitive, and ready for the world stage. city that runs on AI, sensors, and data, how would your daily life actually change? Now, imagine living in a city where technology quietly works for you every single day. Traffic lights don't change just on timer. They are guided by AI, reducing jams and saving hours on roads. Power isn't wasted. Sensors track energy use in real time, making sure electricity goes exactly where it's needed, cutting costs and keeping the city green. Beneath your feet, underground fibers act like digital highways, carrying super fast internet to every block, every office, every home. This means businesses, schools, and hospitals are always connected, and the heart of it all, huge data centers that keep Africa's information close. This powers apps, streaming cloud services without relying on servers thousands of miles away. This is the Konza blueprint. It's not just about showing off fancy tech. It's about making life easier, businesses cheaper to learn, and innovation faster to test. By building these systems into the foundation of the city, Konza gives people and companies the tools to compete, not just in Africa, but anywhere in the world. Why should the world care about smart city rising in Kenya's Savannah? Every global taker was born from a unique advantage. Silicon Valley grew from America's research culture and venture capital. Xinjiang exploded because of China's manufacturing power. Dubai transformed by use of oil wealth to build infrastructure and attract talent. Konza's advantage is its region, East Africa, one of the fastest growing internet markets in the world. The population is mobile first, meaning people can leap straight to digital solutions without waiting for their systems to catch up. And the Kenyan government is actively pushing for digital transition from policy to investment to make sure that the future of the economy is tech-driven. If Konza delivers on its promise, it won't just be a Kenyan story. It will become a global magnet, a new destination for talent, for capital, and for cloud infrastructure. A place where global firms can find lower costs, high growth, and access to one of the most dynamic regions of the planet. In other words, Konza isn't building for Kenya, it's building for East Africa on the global tech map. What are the biggest hurdles standing between Konza and the dream of becoming Africa's Silicon Valley? Big dreams always come with big problems, and Konza is no exception. Building a city from scratch is one thing. Building a smart city meant to compete with the world's best is another. The first hurdle is funding. A $14 billion vision can only move if the money flows on time. Roads, fiber lines, energy grids, schools, and data centers all cost billions. If financing slows down, so does the dream. The second hurdle is policy continuity. Governments change, leaders change, and priorities often shift. But Konza's long-term project needs a steady and across decades, not stop-start momentum every election cycle. The third hurdle is the private sector confidence. A city cannot survive on government plans alone. It needs universities to set up campuses, startups to test ideas, and global corporations to invest. Without them, Konza risks becoming one of the empty shells. Impressive on paper, quiet on reality. Success at this scale demands three things: steady investment, clear governance, and real partnership between government, academia, and industry. It's achievable, but it won't happen automatically. Konza's promise depends on turning these challenges into solutions. If Kenya pulls this off, what would Konza's success mean for Africa and for the world? If Kenya pulls this off, Konza will be far more than a national trophy. It could change the way the world thinks about where innovation comes from. For decades, big names have dominated the story. Silicon Valley in the US, Xinjiang in China, Bangalore in India. These places have become symbols of how technology shapes economies. But Konza offers a different story. It says innovation doesn't have to come only from old centers of power. A city in Africa built with intention, fueled by young talent and connected to the world can also set the pace. If Konza succeeds, it will not just attract companies and investors, but inspire confidence that global breakthroughs can be born anywhere. For Kenya, this means jobs, industries, and influence. For Africa, it means a proof that smart cities are not just a distant dream, but practical path forward. And for the world, it means a new template, a reminder that the future of technology is not limited to one country or one continent. It belongs to everyone bold enough to build it. Konza's promise is bigger than Kenya. It's a chance to redraw the global map and show the world that Silicon Savannah can truly roll. So, will Konza be remembered as Africa's Silicon Savannah, or just a bold experiment that the world learns from? So, is Konza still destined to be the next Silicon Valley, or it's a bold experiment that will simply leave the world with valuable lessons? The truth is, the story is still unfolding. But what we do know is the plot is already exciting. A city designed like a microchip rising from the savannah, powered by a nation that already changed the world once, with nothing more than a simple idea called mobile money. Konza may or may not hit every target, but it represents something bigger. They believe that Africa can design the future instead of waiting for it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. This is Amobin Tech. See you next time.